All carpentry really is essentially a creative umbrella for all the different things that I do. I'm a carpenter, I'm a designer, I'm a printmaker, painter. I do drawings, I do 3D work, I have sculptures, I have the Gentleman's Boombox series, several different series of paintings and prints. I do t-shirts, I have my workshop here, I have a recording studio here, I live here. Really any other traditional to unconventional combination of art and carpentry. It's very serendipitous that I came up with the idea for the Gentleman's Boombox because I've always had like a passion for like vintage boomboxes. I even have a big one tattooed on my arm. A lot of my older cousins and kids in the neighborhood that I looked up to all had their big boomboxes that they carried around the neighborhood. And you know, like as a little kid, I've just always had like this draw towards the aesthetic and towards the idea and towards just like the bold statement it was to just blast your music in other people's faces. I grew up kind of rural, so there wasn't a whole lot of it. Any little taste of that urban hip-hop thing, all of these things kind of merged together in this one passion. There's a lot of design involved. It's a very deliberate aesthetic. There's a lot of different combinations I won't use. There's eras that I stay away from just because they look kind of cheesy. There's just like a whole aesthetic that I go for. To find the cases, I actually spend a lot of time with my mom. We go up to like thrift stores and antique stores up in Wisconsin and around where I'm from, up in northern Illinois. We have a few favorite spots, and we actually have a lot of antique shop owners that look out for us, and they let us know when they find the things that I'm looking for. I have a list of criteria, certain types of trunks and certain types of cases, certain eras, certain fabrics, and when those things come in, they contact us. There's been several occasions where I've had friends show up at the door with a U-Haul, like half full, because they were moving, and they also like drove through Tennessee and then filled the truck up the rest of the way with suitcases they found. There's something very pleasing about the organization of a boombox and the way that it's laid out and the colors and the textures and the materials that it's made out of. There's a whole process I go through when like choosing the correct suitcase and the right speaker to go with the suitcase. The metal part around the speaker itself has to either be metallic or go with the hardware because I don't want anything to look like it's forced. I want all of the pieces to look like you could have bought them in the 40s or 50s or 60s. I love to find like very traditional textures and fabrics. Like there's a lot of really cool leathers and tweed. There's also a lot that you can do with the different banding in the strips. They have exposed nail heads and different ways that they finish the edges. So then I use different colored screws to match and kind of lend itself to the bracketry of the original case itself. I definitely feel like now with music, it's very different the way people present the way they listen to music. It's very much more shared, like the actual music itself, like in digital form. I think there needs to be that option to blast it for everybody else again, which it seems, you don't really see that anymore. I think it's tough to truly pinpoint where the popularity of this series has come from. I think it has a lot to do with nostalgia, though. For a lot of people, it's a social thing also. Like if they have it in their house, it's going to be a conversation piece. It's not a standard stereo. It is art, and it is a functional piece of art. You can kind of make it your own by playing your own music through it, and then it becomes a projection of your personality. There's a lot of things that I can do with it in the future, and I have some big plans for getting it into a lot more hands than I'm able to right now, making them one by one in my basement. I think it'd be pretty funny if that whole boombox era came back. You got kids walking around with suitcases on their shoulders with all sorts of different models and shapes and sizes. I think that'd be a great thing to see.